Canto 29. The earthly paradise continued. Walking upstream, the strange light and melody, invocation, candelabra, the procession, 24 elders, 4 animals, griffin and chariot, 7 nymphs, 7 elders, halt. Singing like a lady in love, she continued, at the end of her words, Beati quorum tecta sunt peccata, and like nymphs that used to walk alone through the forest shadows, some desiring to see, others to flee the sun, she then moved against the stream, walking along the bank, and I even with her, matching little steps with little steps. There had not been 100 between her steps and mine, when the banks made equal turns so that I faced east. Nor had we walked much further, when the lady turned to face me, saying, My brother, look and listen. And behold, a shining suddenly ran through the great forest on all sides, such that it made me wonder if it were lightning. But since lightning, as soon as it comes, ceases, and this, lasting, shone brighter and brighter in my thought, I said, What thing is this? And a sweet melody ran through the luminous air, at which good zeal made me reproach the boldness of Eve, who there, where earth and sky obeyed, a female, alone, and just then fashioned, could not bear to stay beneath any veil, under which, if she had humbly remained, I would have felt those ineffable delights sooner and for a longer time. While I walked along among so many first fruits of the eternal pleasure, all in suspense and desirous of still greater gladness, ahead of us the air beneath the green branches became like a blazing fire, and the sweet sound could now be heard as singing, O sacrosanct virgins, if ever I have suffered hunger, cold, or vigils for you, I am spurred by need to call to you for help. Now must Helicon pour forth for me, and Urania with her chorus help me to put into verse things difficult to conceive. A little further on, a false appearance of 7 golden trees was caused by the long tract of air that was still between us and them. But when I had come so close to them that the ambiguous object that deceives the sense no longer lost through distance any of its features, the power that gives reason, the mana for its discourse, perceived that they were candelabra, and, in the singing voices, Hosanna. Overhead the beautiful array flamed much brighter than the moon in a clear sky at midnight, in the middle of its month. I turned full of amazement to the good Virgil, and he replied with a look laden with no less awe. Thence I turned my eyes back to the high things that moved toward us so slowly that new brides would have overtaken them. The lady scolded me. Why do you burn so with feeling for the living lights and do not look at what comes after them? Then I saw people coming after, as if following their leaders, dressed in white, and back here such whiteness never was. On my left the water was ablaze and reflected my left side, if I looked down at it, just as a mirror would. When I was so placed on my bank that only the river separated me from them, I halted my steps in order to see better, and I saw the flames move on, leaving the air behind them painted, and they seemed like brushes drawn along, so that the air overhead was marked with 7 stripes, all in those colors with which the sun makes his bow and Delia her belt. These banners extended backward further than my sight, and in my estimate, the outer ones were 10 paces apart. Under the beautiful sky that I described, 24 elders, 2 by 2, were coming, crowned with lilies. All were singing, Benedicta are you among the daughters of Adam, and blessed in eternity be your beauties. After the flowers and the other fresh grasses opposite me on the other bank were free of that chosen people, as light follows light in the sky, after them came 4 animals, each crowned with green leaves. Each was feathered with 6 wings. The feathers were full of eyes, and the eyes of Argus, were they alive, would be such. To describe their shapes I scatter no more rhymes, reader, for another outlay constrains me, so that I cannot be liberal with this one. But read Ezekiel, who depicts them as he saw them coming from the cold region with wind and cloud and fire, and as you find them in his pages, such were they there, except that as to the feathers John is with me and departs from him. The space amid the 4 of them contained a triumphal chariot with 2 wheels, which was drawn harnessed to the neck of a griffin. He extended upward his 2 wings between the center stripe and the 3 and 3, so that he harmed none of them by splitting it. His wings rose higher than could be seen. His members were gold as far as he was a bird, the others white mixed with crimson. Not only did Rome never gladden Africanus, or Augustus with so glorious a chariot, but that of the sun would be poor beside it, that of the sun which when it strayed was burned up at the prayer of the humble earth, when Jove was mysteriously just. 3 ladies came dancing in a circle at the right wheel, one so red that she would hardly be noticed within fire. The next was as if her flesh and bones had been fashioned of emerald. The third appeared like newly fallen snow. And now they seemed drawn by the white one, now by the red one, and from the latter's song the other 2 took their slow or rapid pace. On the left side 4 others rejoiced, clothed in purple, following the melody of one of them, who had 3 eyes in her head. After the whole cluster here described, I saw 2 old men, differently clothed, but equal in bearing, both virtuous and strong. One seemed to be a familiar of that highest Hippocrates, whom nature made for the animal she loves most. The other showed the opposite intent, with a sword so shining and sharp that even on this side of the stream it frightened me. Then I saw 4 of humble bearing, and behind them all a solitary old man walking asleep, with his face alert. And these 7 were dressed like the first regiment, though they had no lilies garlanding their heads, but roses instead, and on other crimson flowers. A gaze somewhat removed would have sworn that all were burning above the brow. And when the chariot was opposite me, a peal of thunder was heard, and those worthy folk seemed forbidden to go further, for they halted there with the first standards.